I'd say to anybody that, especially if you're in that doom loop and it's not working for you, it's not the trading system. It's probably you. If you're going to make an investment, Alan's brilliant. I wouldn't be where I am now without Alan. I'd still be going, and in fact, I've probably given up because I did get to the point where I was like, I've got to do, this is the end. So I need to do something different. And if that doesn't work, then I can't continue to spend money on systems and all that type of stuff. So if you are in that position, do it, because you'll come out of that process in a much, 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 much better place and a profitable trader.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I've got a client with me who's done exceptionally well with the 12-week coaching. We've been working through my Trifecta Trading Approach, and he's gained consistency and confidence in his process. So I'm going to have a little talk about that today. Welcome, Keith. How are you, mate?
You're very well. Thanks, Alan. Very good.
So yeah, before we start, if you can just tell people about your background, what was your journey like before me?
Yeah, I've been trading for probably 5-6 years. I got attracted by the shiny lights of quick money and quite quickly found out it was nowhere as easy as people tell you it is. I've been on the journey going round on what is probably called system hopping, or I think I've heard some people call it the doom loop, jumping from system to system. And it took a long time to realize it wasn't the trading system or the bots or whatever. It was actually, and it was me and the psychology. And it took a long time to realize that. And I think it probably does most people, if I'm honest. But as soon as I recognized it was me, things started to change, hence the success with Alan. But that was my journey prior to kind of starting with Alan. I'd lost a bit of money, not too much, which was good, but definitely I was called a system hopper.
Yeah, I love what you said, that doom loop. It is so common. You see so many traders, they have a strategy, they trade it, they hit a few losers, and instantly they just swap around, go to the next one. They just repeat that for years. And usually it's because they don't want to lose. That's a common thing. So I'm glad that you got out of that loop, which is good to hear. So what is it that made you decide to join the program? Was it just mainly just constantly doing the same things over and over? Or what was the reason why you wanted to do it?
I think I got to the point, and as I said, it took a long time to get there, but I realized I was just going after system, trading system. And I was actually, at the start of my journey, I was persevering with them for quite a long time. But the longer I was in that journey, the shorter the time span of actually trading that system. And I don't know what the trigger was, but something told me that there's got to be a different way of doing this, because it just doesn't feel right anymore. And I've gotten to the point where I've got to do something different, and something different clearly isn't a trading system. And I'd noticed, I think I'd seen you on social media. I think I bought your book, and I'd actually bought one of your courses prior to that a few years ago. And I think it was just because you were talking about psychology, and actually probably some videos like this where I'd kind of think, there's two sides to trading, right? There's the system and there's you as the individual. So I've done all the system stuff, haven't worked, so it's got to be me.
Yeah.
Kind of started to look inwardly and kind of felt that the psychology was probably something that I needed to look at, and what did I have to lose?
Yeah.
So, and here we are today.
Yeah. So for those who are watching, so me and Keith, we've been working through my Trifecta approach, which has three different pillars to it. So the first one is mechanical trading, where it's an objective mechanical strategy that's designed to prevent overthinking and hesitation and stuff like that. And then the other side of the pillar is high time frames to slow everything down. And then the final one is detachment. And this is the one that I think's really, really helped you the most, learning to detach from triggering thoughts and deal with them better. So yeah, how would you say that's improved your trading, just the detachment side of things?
Absolutely. I think it was the missing bit, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
There's lots of things to psychology, but that I think was the key bit for me, because outside of trading, I was quite a worrier. Didn't affect me, but I'd ponder stuff and if I was going to make a presentation, have a meeting in a day or two's time, it would definitely be sitting there in the back of my mind, asking myself the question, have you got all the right information? Are you going to do a good job? Are you going to get the right outcome? All that type of
Yeah.
stuff that happens in a working life. I've been able to detach, not only has helped me from a training perspective, but actually it's helped me in my career. And I was fortunate in that I got it quite quickly, but as soon as I started to use it, it was almost self-fulfilling in that I could see how it was helping. So it kind of just fulfilled that speed of which I could start to use it and see the benefit really. So, and also I think having a mechanical, because I've tried discretionary and mechanical systems, and I think that the mechanical, I have a personality type that I'm very much give me a system and I can follow it, but that only works with the psychology part and the detachment. And once you bring those together, that's what my kind of key was.
Yeah. Yeah. And they all work together, don't they? The mechanical system, high time frames, and that psychology detachment. And I like what you touched on, how it helps you outside of trading. It's not just a trading skill now, it's a life skill. This is something that you can use, outside. You can use it in the shop. If you ever feel anxious or worried about something, you can use that skill that I taught you to just basically detach and go about your day. What traders tend to fall into and what Keith was falling into was what we call loop mode, which is that circular thinking state where you ruminate and you worry about things and it just creates more stress, more anxiety, and it does nothing positive. So learning to be aware of when you're getting hooked into that and learning how to detach from it is a skill that's not only important for trading, but for life, isn't it, in general? And Keith did really well with it. You got it pretty quick, didn't you? I think you after just a few weeks, you were detaching for fun.
Yeah. I suppose some people it's a bit quicker, others it takes a bit longer. But yeah, I was fortunate in that it clicked quite quickly for me.
And I remember we were just discussing a minute ago, it's basically like a muscle, isn't it? It's a muscle you never accessed before. It's weak to begin with. You put in the reps, eventually get stronger. Yeah, you get better at it. A large part of it as well with the detachment and learning it and teaching it to you, we have to actually break down your beliefs about how you think worrying about something or analyzing something is actually not helping you. What did you think of that, Keith?
I think it was not difficult, but that right at the start of the journey, I think it took that bit took a little bit longer, but the ability to kind of, as soon as it clicks, it was great because as I said, it's not just the trading, it's the other part of life. Yeah, it was just persevering with it until it starts clicking. And then it's you actually at the start of the journey, it's a conscious thought to make sure you detach because you almost go through a little process. But
Yeah.
now, kind of 8, 12 weeks later, but not all the time, but most of the time, it's actually subconsciously you're detaching almost. You're not having to actually think about detaching. It almost happens. Sometimes you do because but it's that muscle memory has
Yeah.
enabled me to train myself to just detach. So yeah, really good.
Brilliant. And yeah, like you said, it's automatic. It's kind of like brushing your teeth. It's just something you do now. Whereas like in the beginning, when you're a little kid, your parents are saying brush your teeth, and you're like, oh, okay, well, if I have to. And they'll tell you every day until it just becomes, something you do, a habit. And that's kind of what this skill is like, It's a bit weird at first, isn't it? It's something you've never done before. And then it just becomes something you do. You always revert back to that skill now because there's no other better way, is there? The old way hasn't worked for you.
No, no. And if you could have one skill in life, it's a really, really good skill to have because as I say, I use it daily, so great investment of being able to develop and have that skill.
Brilliant, brilliant. So yeah, let's move on to one of the other pillars, which is the mechanical strategy. So how did you find that strategy in itself? Did you like it?
Really liked it. So I have a day job. So for me, the mechanical strategy using the daily time frame and the weekly time frame at the weekends was great, is great. I can take my time. There's no stress. I can, look at the chart and I'm not rushing. And it's a straightforward strategy. Takes a week or two to get kind of ingrained, if you like. So it's natural, like anything. But yeah, great, simple. It works. And the back testing was, the back testing actually was the bit that really, really helped as well. And I'd never done that properly on my own. And that was part of the problem. So the back testing proved to me in black and white that the strategy works. So when you have that coupled with the psychology and the ability to detach, it's that all that those jigsaw pieces coming together.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's so important, isn't it? In the back testing, it's what I always say. It's the foundation of confidence. You know what to expect and prepare for it when you go live. So when you hit them losses in a row, you know it's totally normal for the system. You know what to expect, and you're going with the mindset of I can handle this because I know how this system works. And that's where a lot of traders go wrong. They don't know the stats, and of course, if you don't know your system works, you're going to have that hesitation. You're going to have that overthinking. So it's important to do that. I mean, you can have the best mindset, the best strategy, but still, if you don't know your stats, there's always going to be something that can trigger you.
Absolutely. And one of the things I took away from that back testing is the amount of times I've looked at a chart and you look at the chart and you go, there's no way that trade's going to work. Not in a million years, because it just looks like. But what the back testing does is it trains you to take the trade, follow the system, because you know it becomes probability based and you almost become a bit robotic.
Yeah.
But the success is based on you doing the robotic repeat, take the trade. Doesn't matter what it looks like, just take the trade. And it's following the process. And that's actually what you learn through the back test.
Yeah, 100%. And that's it. With a mechanical system, it's just about executing. There's no discretion. There's no look for this confidence, look for that. And it's just a matter of you executing. And yeah, I'm glad you said that. So is there anything else you've learned since working with me that you'd like to mention, Keith?
I think some of the journaling's good as well. So that's definitely good. There's loads of stuff. And what's really good is you follow up, you send the email after the session so you can go back and you can look at it in your own pace. And it's almost like you've got a documented, 12 weeks worth of homework and knowledge that you've built up so you can go back and study it when you need to. So there's lots of stuff. But I think for me, the takeaway was the back testing, the strategy and the psychology. They were the really good things. And there's lots of things ingrained in all of those. Yeah, I've simplified it, but lots more to it.
There's always a bit more to it, but yeah, they are the foundations. How did you find the experience with the one-to-one calls and your results? How have they been?
They're really good. I'd say to anybody that, especially if you're in that doom loop and it's not working for you, it's not the training system, it's probably you. If you're going to make an investment, Alan's brilliant. I wouldn't be where I am now without Alan. I'd still be going. And in fact, I've probably given up because I did get to the point where I was like, I've got to do, this is the end. It's got to be me. So I need to do something different. And if that doesn't work, then I can't continue to spend money on systems and all that type of stuff. So if you are in that position, do it, because you'll come out of that process in a much, 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 much better place and a profitable trader.
Brilliant. Brilliant, Keith. So what are your future plans after this? What's next for you?
I need to keep putting more money in my funded trading account. Yeah. I need to pass some funding, which I'm on the road to do in terms of those funded accounts. And I need to build it up to the point where I can become a full-time trader. That's the goal. And, it might take 2 years, it might take 5 years, but follow the system, repeat, and I will get there.
That's it. As I always say to you, Keith, follow the plan, manage risk. That's the only two things you need to do. Do that, you're going to be all right.
Yeah.
So final question for you, Keith. So what would you tell anyone who's unsure about joining the program?
If you're not profitable, you probably need to look inwardly, because I've been there. And Alan will take you on a journey that you begin to understand why you've not been profitable and what it takes to be profitable, and give you all of the different components that you need to become profitable. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes. You've got all the ingredients. You've got the strategy, the psychology, the back testing. You've got the different things you need, because I think I probably was guilty of overcomplicating things, right? It's actually just following a process, but it's easy to say it, it's difficult to do, but that's what the course helps you to achieve and follow.
Well, brilliant. Thank you for that, Keith. I appreciate you sharing your experience, and it's been an absolute pleasure working with you. You've done really, really well. So thank you.
I really enjoyed it. And thank you, because without you, I wouldn't be going on the path that I'm now going. So very much really appreciated. And if you ever need a reference,
Oh, brilliant.
Send them my way.
Brilliant. Thank you, Keith. I appreciate that, my friend.
Right.
So yeah, I'll speak to you soon. I know we're booking in for a booster session in a month, and we'll see you then.
Yeah.
Cheers, Keith. And thanks everyone
Okay.
for watching. We'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.